Over to you, Dr. Anshika.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Anshika, Associate Professor in School of Management and Commerce at KR Manglam University, Gurugram. Welcomes you all in the webinar Redefining the MBA, Getting Ready for the Future, organized by KR Manglam University, Gurugram. I hope you all are healthy and safe. In view to the post-pandemic scenario, where the entire economy is trying to stabilize, there is apprehension about the future, especially in the minds of the youngsters. Management aspirants are also selling in the same boat. They are thinking, what will be the relevance of the management education in future? What skill will be demanded? What type of pedagogy is required? What is meant by industry-ready program? And these are the questions which we will be discussing in today's webinar. For this, I would like to invite the experts of today's webinar, Professor Sanjay Mittal sir and Professor Rajat Gera. Professor Sanjay Mittal is the Vice Chancellor at Sambalpur University. He has 40 years of teaching, research, and administrative experience. His area of interest are marketing, international business, and entrepreneurship. He has been resource person in many FDPs on research methodology. He has widely traveled over overseas countries. He is involved in accreditation of institutes and is on the panel of NBA and NAC. Our second guest is Dr. and Professor Rajat Gera. He is a Dean School of Management and Commerce at KR Manglam University. He has academic, research, and institutional development experience of over 21 years with leading B schools. His area of research are e-service quality, service quality structure, measurements, e-learning, corporate reputation, entrepreneurship, green consumer behavior, consumer technology adaptation, and innovation. We welcome you, both of you, sir. Dear students, we generally discuss that what will be the future of our industries. What is Industry 5.0 says to us, how we can update ourselves, upgrade ourselves, and should have the skill set which is actually demanded in today's market. With this, I'll request Dr. Sanjeev sir to please throw some light on this.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me out over here on this platform.
Pleasure is all ours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and all the dignitaries on the dais and all my dear students. I am thankful once again, and I think the topic which has been chosen, that what is going to be the future direction for the MBAs, is really a topic which is the need of the hour. And what I will say is that MBAs will always be in demand. It is such a type of a profession where whenever we have business, whenever we have industries, whenever we have institutions, all these organizations need to be managed. And since they need to be managed, therefore there will be a lot of demand for the MBAs. Only change that can come may be an area of specialization. But when we talk in terms of MBA in the field of marketing, or MBA in the field of finance, or MBA in the field of projects, or MBA in the field of data analytics, I think they are always rosy areas in which there will be always rising demand. But basically, the type of the skills and the qualities which are looked in by the industries and the students has changed, friends. And what they are nowadays focusing is on the analytical skill of the students, that to what extent they are experts and they have the knowledge to work on SPSS and try to work on the data and its analysis, so that certain type of decisions can be arrived at. Because over a period of years, a lot of data has been collected by the industries called as big data. And now the whole game is to analyze that big data to find certain type of decisions. I just give a small example. Let's say, for example, the retail store has to decide that what type of SKUs have to be kept together and what type of SKUs have to be kept at what particular position. And for that particular reason, what I personally believe is that it all involves the analytics of the shopping behavior of the consumer, and using certain type of data analytics techniques. And one such technique is called as market basket analysis. We can analyze the market basket or the shopping basket of the consumers on different weekdays, and on the basis of that, we can come to know that what is the shopping pattern on what particular day. And accordingly, if the SKUs in the retail outlets are arranged as per what has been predicted using these types of shopping behavior analytics, I think it is going to maximize the sale of the retail outlet. Similarly, all organizations are interested to increase their sales, and for that particular reason, a lot of innovativeness and creativity is required. So, industries are also looking in for to what extent the future MBAs are innovative and creative in their approach, and what type of strategies they can always think in terms of what type of out of the box thinking they can try to have, what type of knowledge they have acquired as a part of the MBA. And knowledge is not only theoretical, but to what extent it has been practical knowledge. And therefore, the teaching style is also changing. And what I have seen is that in our university, we have started using what is called as flipped classrooms. And in these flipped classrooms, these are all automated classrooms. We are also calling them as smart classrooms, where all types of ICT tools are available in terms of the digital podium, in terms of interactive touch panel, in terms of the built-in laptop over there in the digital podium. We also talk in terms of the virtual systems that we have created over there, so that we not only have the faculty in the classroom to deliver certain type of concepts to the student, but we are also having the industry experts simultaneously who is trying to listen to these concepts, and based on those concepts, the experts share the experiences that how these concepts can be translated into the practical strategies. So that way the learning is better, and the students are in a position not only to connect with the faculty but also to these industry people. And that is how exactly we are trying to look in towards more and more of the connect. And not only that, friends, to improve the practical knowledge, what I have looked in for the future, when we talk in terms of these MBAs, that will be dependent upon how much of the live projects they are taking with the industry. And I have looked in for that every type of accreditation agencies are also looking in for how many projects have been written by the students, how many papers they have published along with the faculty member. So that means it is not only the teaching, what they have to only learn from these lectures, but they also have to be involved in doing something in terms of execution part. And that execution part is in terms of what type of live projects they have taken, what type of internet-based projects they are doing, what type of major research projects they are trying to do, and what type of tools and techniques they have used in order to what do the data analysis. And because of that type of tools and techniques, to what extent they are in a position to publish the research papers out of their own studies. So therefore, the focus is on outcome-based education. Outcome-based education basically reflects that what has been the attainment level, what has been the program that we are trying to deliver to the students, what outcomes have been there, what attributes we are in a position to inculcate in the students. And as a result of that, friends, now students have also become very, very progressive, and they're very career conscious. And if today is the age of entrepreneurship, I think students are even moving into what the era of entrepreneurship. Accreditation agencies are also looking in for how much transition has been there from passing out of an MBA into the higher studies, and from, or if not into higher studies, whether into entrepreneurship, and how many have got the job. And when we talk in terms of jobs, nowadays the competition not only to get a job, but how many jobs the student could get it, and how much time the student could get that type of a job. So I think the success parameters are trying to change when we are trying to talk in terms of the future readiness of the student. So I have basically interacted with certain industries out over here, and when we try to talk to those industries, they have told us that we are looking in for three important attributes in the student. Number one, to what extent they are knowledgeable. This knowledge, what they have acquired, is a part of the MBA program, and plus whatever latest updates they are trying to have. So knowledge not only from the books, knowledge through internet, knowledge through attending various types of seminars, workshops, and as a result of that, what type of validation has been there in the students, because they are not only looking in for a plain MBA, but they say we want to look in for an MBA with some value additions. So the value addition can be through some value addition courses, like we are trying to think in terms of students taking up digital marketing, because every third organization is using social media. So how the social media can be leveraged to the success of the organization using digital marketing or digital platform. So all these types of value addition courses have to be given. If AI and machine learning is the tomorrow, friends, we really have to give this type of an exposure to our students, that What are the areas in which AI can be used when they are practicing management and they become the practicing managers? What type of machine learning is involved? And when we are trying to give all these types of latest updates, I think we are trying to make them knowledgeable. Knowledge is in terms of not only the bookish knowledge, what I have already said, but knowledge is what they are in a position to acquire through certain other type of activities, through seminars, workshops, international conferences, or basically in terms of taking up some type of validation course. The second thing, what is being looked in by the industry is the type of a skill set. So I say the first word is knowledge, second word is skill. When we talk in terms of skill and when we try to talk to these industries, they say the most important skill we try to look in for is the communication skill. So they say communication not only in terms of oral but also in terms of written communication is very, very important. They have to write different types of projects. They have to basically interact with the different types of vendors. They have to interact with their customers, and for that particular reason, communication is very, very important. And for that particular reason, I think we really have to have a lot of courses on communication, which will help to improve the managerial personality of these future MBAs, who basically we will like to make them industry ready. And what I have looked in for, the communication varies from industry to industry. So I think again an industry connect has to be done by a corporate relations cell that can be created in the institution, or industry interaction cell that can be created in the department or in the institution, which can have a direct connect with the industry and can understand from them that what type of communication they are trying to look in for. Because some organizations, they are more conscious about the dialect and the oral communication, which has a very clear spell out for the vocabulary and the words that we are trying to use as a part of the communication. Some organizations are even emphasizing on the email and the etiquettes of the email, to what extent the students have learned that, how much they're in a position to basically make this informal communication as a formal communication, so that the office, when it is a e-office, more and more use of the emails are there, and to what extent our the tomorrow's MBAs are comfortable with this type of email as a means of communication, and whatever are the new channels of communication, to what extent our students are really updating themselves. Because if I'm trying to look in for as a MBA as a professional, I think I need to be active on the social media also. To what extent I'm in a position to have my Facebook account, to what extent I'm in a position to have my LinkedIn account, how much I'm active on that, how many likes have been there, what type of reviews have been there, whether I keep on writing on them or not. So all these things basically are looked in by the organizations. Now, the second type of skill after communication is what is called as interpersonal skill, because MBAs are always allowed to and asked to work over there in the team. And we give this name as QF, quality functional teams, because everywhere we are trying to focus on the excellence and the quality part. And when we talk in terms of excellence and quality part, I think for that particular reason, we really have to be more and more conscious that how exactly we will be in a position to basically work over there in a team. And it is being emphasized these days that this team spirit always creates out of the box thinking. Much of the solutions can be found out by themselves rather than looking in for some external interference to find out certain type of say decisions. And this is how exactly teamwork always helps to make a type of a decision which is always liked by the organization. Many problems are solved because of this type of a teamwork. So this interpersonal skill, working in a team, and to what extent we are in a position to socialize with our team members, these are all the type of qualities and the characteristics as a part of a skill looked in by by the industries in the MBAs. The third type of skill, which is I think a part of every profession, is called as a technical skill. So the skill, whether we specialize in marketing, finance, to what extent we really have mastered our own area of specialization. So students, they say we specialize in international business, and they, when the industries they look in for, do you know about LC, letter of credit? Since they have not seen any practical document of letter of credit, I think they fumble. So I think this is very, very important that whatever area of specialization we specialize, we should have the mastery in that type of an area, so that at least we are in a position to discharge the responsibilities that will be given to us moment we will be joining the industry, right? So whether the area can be HR or it is operations or it is HR or whatever is the area of specialization, I think at the elementary level, moment we join over there in the organization, we have to perform and show the results. And for that particular reason, technical skills are very, very important. In these technical skill only, we also need to have analytical as well as logical skill. That means if I take any type of a decision in my own area, then what is the logic? That logic really has to be given by the MBA. So the industries try to look in for that whatever decisions are taken in the organization should not have short-term impact, but try to have what is a long-term impact. And for that particular reason, we are trying to talk in terms of long-term decision making or a strategic decision making or a part of a functional decision making. So I think what I have said is that certain type of skills are very, very important. Along with that, when we are trying to talk of a skill set these days, working on a computer, creating a dashboard, visualization, presentation, I think these all are part of the technical skills only, right? We need to expect as an industry to what extent they are comfortable on the Excel. And this is normally a question that is asked from the student. Have you experience and expertise working on an Excel? I think it is now a routine for an MBA to basically master Excel, master data analytical tools, master certain other type of, say, tools and techniques which are required, which will be helpful in terms of what arriving at a decision. So these things are really looked in by the industries. And for that, I think we really have to incorporate all these things as a part of our curriculum, whether it is SPSS or any such type of a technique that we really have to take care of. Now, the third thing that is very, very important is nothing but called as an attitude. So I say KSA. So KSA stands for what? Knowledge, skills, and attitude. So attitude is what? How we look at a things. So industries, they say that you should be a learning person, always keep on learning, open to ideas, flexible in terms of adjustment, in a position to take the organization in a positive manner. Every negativity should be taken in a positive manner. And this is how exactly, if you are having a positive attitude, I think anything which is there in the form of a problem, we are in a position to find a solution for that. And this type of attitude, I can, I will, right? Impossible is what I am possible. If all these things are there, what I want to say is that the industries, they expect the MBAs that they have solution for every type of a problem. And even if they immediately do not have a solution, through certain type of study, through certain type of analysis, they should be in a position to find out for a solution. And that is what is expected from a MBA. And normally the industries, they say that MBA should not come out with what? A problem. If they have a problem, they should also give alternative solutions to the industry. And these solutions are nothing but in the form of strategies. I still remember of an incident where basically I was reading a small book where basically there was an organization called as General Electric. And that organization basically went for a downfall. And when it went for a downfall, and from $400 billion company, it became a $1 billion company. So therefore, a new CEO was appointed out over there. And therefore, he started hiring new set of employees because every work cannot be done by a CEO, and therefore employees are needed. And when we talk of employees, these days MBAs are normally preferred because they have the masters in terms of doing the business administration. So he said that I could again turn around the company from $1 billion to $100 billion and keeps on therefore making the company to rise just because I could have a right set of team with me. And most of these employees were either engineers or engineers with MBA, so that they can understand their responsibility in a better manner. And as a result of that, they will be in a position to produce results. And they said whenever we were hiring the MBAs, we looked in for four qualities. So the first quality was to what extent they have the energy in them. And that is very true. The second quality they looked in for is that to what extent they can energize others. Not only they have energy, but they should also be in a position to energize others. That is what has been looked in for. And the third quality they were looking in for to what extent they are in a position to execute. So this execution is again very, very important, right? Because they don't see that the manager should only say something, formulate, but when the time will come to execute. So they're looking from the execution perspective. And the fourth thing they were looking in for, to what extent they basically excel in whatever they try to do. And they normally have a passion for excellence. That is in terms of what? Always focusing on the quality. And that is, I think, these are the four qualities what he has talked about. And I think this is what is also needed by us in our future MBAs. And for that particular reason, I think pedagogies have changed. Now, in classrooms, what we are trying to do is that we are not trying to basically teach them the theory part. 30% is only theory. The rest 70% we are trying to focus on what on the practical. And this practical comes in the form of case studies. They come in the form of role playing. They come in the form of what? Simulation games. They come over there in the form of basically certain other type of say simulated techniques frame, where basically even in terms of evaluation I have looked in for. Now we have changed the complete criteria for evaluation. We are trying to move to a system which is called as a system of continuous evaluation, so that we are in a position to basically judge the student one a particular unit of a particular course is completed. So we evaluate that student, maybe based on assignment, maybe based on presentation, maybe doing certain type of quiz, maybe doing certain type of any skit or any type of a role that we can assign to that type of a student, or even we can basically give certain type of a project to the student to execute. And this is how exactly things basically now are focusing on the practical side more as compared to the theory. So theory is only in terms of what the conceptual clarity. Now, gone are those days when we should talk in terms of what is the origin of management, what are the different schools of thoughts of management. There's all those things really are trying to drain away the time of the students, and they do not find time for doing the practical part of any type of a course. And therefore, in our university, we are trying to change the syllabus and trying to look in for only 30% we should teach and 70% should be practical. More and more industry exposure should be given, not only in terms of the summer training that we are trying to have, but also trying to look in for that this summer training basically becomes what? A final training for the student, so that after doing the project, student is absorbed in that type of an organization where he has taken the summer training. So these are some type of focuses which we are trying to really need to have in the MBA program. Further, when I try to look in from the future perspective, now industries are trying to look in for that once they get the MBAs in their industry, they should be industry ready. And for that particular reason, we really have to have a lot of tie-ups with the industry. I've looked in for many good institutions. They have tie-up with IBM, they have tie-up with Wipro, they have tie-up with Deloitte, they have tie-up with, let's say, for example, any such type of good organization, the value serve, where they are inviting their executives often and on in the campus and trying to understand from them that what are their requirements. As the requirements change, I think they are trying to bring about a change in the curriculum. The UGC and other authorities are also trying to recommend that any type of a curriculum that you're trying to have in your institution should be a floating curriculum, should always be a dynamic curriculum, should not be a stagnant curriculum. We are trying to teach the same curriculum years after years, years after years. And if somebody asks us a question, when you could revise your curriculum, I think we do not have any answer. We say, sir, why there is a need for revising anything? Whatever we are teaching is still right. So I think nobody should force you. I think you yourself have to be what? Proactive as compared to reactive. So when it comes to curriculum, there is a lot of revision, there is a lot of additions, there is a lot of focus on the practical part, the studies part. And that is how exactly what I will recommend is that the future for MBAs is going to be very competitive, because we are living in a world which is called as a VUCA world. And if I say VUCA, I think VUCA stands for what? Vulnerability, where there is lot of vulnerability. Everything is what? A lot of change is there. So it is very, very vulnerable. When we say you, it is uncertainty, and all decisions have to be taken in this era of uncertainty. And C stands for what? Complexity. So there's a lot of complexity around, and therefore all decisions have to be taken in the light of that complexity. And A stands for what? Ambiguity. And when there's a lot of ambiguity, friends, how to arrive at that particular decision, this is what we have to teach our MBAs. Because if the world is changing, our system of education, our curriculum, our pedagogy, everything has to change. I think these days institutions are not only judged based on the accreditations what they are trying to have, but that is also being judged based on what type of MOUs we have signed with what international universities and overseas organizations, what type of practical knowledge we are trying to give to whom, to our students, and basically on those parameters we are basically being judged. Students are also being encouraged to become entrepreneurs. I've already said, if you look in for the curriculum of Kellogg's or Stanford or Harvard Business, I think, or Oxford, you will be really finding that the students, once they take the admissions out over there, the first thing they're asked to do is what? To basically create a type of a business idea for them and keep on working on that particular business idea so that by the time they complete their course, they're very much clear about what is entrepreneurship, what are the advantages and disadvantages of being an entrepreneur, how to be a startup, how to start a startup, how to get the finances for those types of startups. So all those types of handholding these days are being provided to the students at the time when they are students themselves. So whether it is entrepreneurship or it is intrapreneurship, I think both these concepts are promoted among the participants, among these MBAs, because they are very, very fertile with what? Lot of say ideas and lot of concepts. And I have looked in for that after working 2-3 years in any good organization. After 2-3 years down the line, they have always moved out of that organizations to start something of their own. And we have a lot of examples, friend, and it's specifically true for good management institutions like IIMs. And if I talk of IIMs ABC, it is Ahmedabad or it is Mumbai, Bombay, or it is Calcutta. We have looked in for that. There has been lot and lot of students who basically have started their own ventures and have become very, very successful. So I think risk-taking abilities have to be taught to the students. Now, forward-looking, say nature of the personality has to be created. When we talk in terms of the MBA, dress code is very, very important. The mannerism, the etiquettes, whether it is business etiquettes or it is email etiquettes or it is mobile etiquettes or it is dining etiquettes or either it is any other type of etiquettes really are being told to whom, to the student, so that basically they are industry ready and they are therefore ready to basically take up their positions. And I have looked in for good MBA students who keep on learning, keep on advancing in their own lives. And at a very young age, I have looked in for that they assume the chairs of what? Being the CEOs of the company. So MBA, when we say, is nothing but how exactly we have mastered the business acumen. And acumen is an art, friends, which is learned through experience. So whatever education we give is only a foundation, and using that foundation, they take off once they join the organization and start practicing everything what they have learned. Because I personally believe, as a preacher, as a faculty, as a professor, as a vice chancellor, that till the time concepts are made clear to them, I think no practical can be done. I can create a doctor only by making them to read a course called as masters in what? MBBS, we talk in terms of, right? Similarly, no MBA, no student without having an MBA can basically become ripe enough to basically take off, and therefore try to use these strategies, make certain strategies to take the business forward. So what I feel is that I think Rajat will also agree with me. What is needed today is that how much we are in a position to make these students extrovert as compared to introvert. So by say removing all types of phobias in them, I have seen students have a lot of inhibition in coming over there on the dais to say something. They have a lot of inhibition in doing certain type of practicals. They basically mind not reading certain subjects. But if we are trying to have a mentor-mentee relationship, if we are in a position to give them sufficient time, I think we will be in a position to basically create these MBAs and a pool of MBAs which can become the future of this particular country. And what I personally feel is that this country really needs people like MBAs, and these MBAs also need to have an engineering qualification, because graduation with engineering or graduation in science or graduation in commerce will basically equip them to understand this course of MBA. One more thing which I have looked in for when we talk in terms of an MBA program, we are trying normally to admit what are called as freshers. And if we are admitting freshers, so they do not have much of the knowledge about these of the worth of MBA. But if we try to basically say allow a person with the experience and take up an MBA program, I have looked in for they are more serious at the time when they are trying to do studies, because they are in a position to correlate that as a non-MBA, what difficulties they are finding. And after taking a MBA, they learn certain such type of strategies and concepts which really equip them in terms of what strategizing and therefore trying to keep their business ahead of what the competitors. Why I'm saying so? Because in my previous institution as well as out over here in Sambalpur, we have started an executive MBA program. And in that executive MBA program, we normally have a minimum criteria of 1 year of experience in the supervisory level. And when these types of people who come with 1 year experience, I'm really finding that they really take interest at the time when they are trying to attend the classes. And maybe this is slight difficulty that we find out over there when we are trying to have the MBAs as fresh students admitted over there in the institution. So I think time is not very far off where we really have to again think in terms of what allowing them to have some working experience, and then only we will be allowing them to admit out over there in the MBA. And as a result of that, I think they will also understand the worth of what this particular program and will be more serious in in terms of what completing their MBA program. So I think I have a lot many things to say, but I think Professor Rajat told me that you have only half an hour to speak. So that is how exactly I could make it. I also made a small presentation, but I thought since time is very less, I should not use any such type of presentation. But I think whatever I wanted to say through presentation, I have said in a verbantine, in a verbal manner. I hope you must have got the idea that future is very bright. It is more brighter than what has been in the past, because country is moving towards what becoming an advanced country. And moment the country is going to become an advanced country with an open economy, more and more multinationals coming inside the country, and more competition coming in, I think more and more demand for professionals. And it is only the professionals who can basically steer the country ahead in terms of still becoming more and more advanced and more developed. And for that particular reason, I feel that the future is very rosy for what for the MPAs. And only thing what we really need to understand is that we have to give them more practical, more out of the box thinking, and for that particular reason, encourage them to participate in the classroom. Rather, we as faculties giving spoon feeding to them, we only tell them about certain concepts of a particular subject that we are trying to teach, and then use more and more of the case studies. Not only using the case studies, but we can also basically motivate the students to write case studies of their own and present those case studies. We can also give them certain type of assignments which are workable assignment. What will be the impact of entry of multinationals on the retail sector in India? You open any book, you will not be in a position to find any such type of information. Students will be forced to go over to the market, try to interview these retailers, and on the basis of that, find out that how exactly they are feeling the heat of what the multinationals entry into the country. And this is how exactly we'll be in a position to broaden their mindset. And as a result of that, I think so. I think KSC is very important: knowledge, skills, and attitude. But who is going to tell them? In a way, these are also key success areas. So who is going to tell them these key success areas? I normally say you reverse this KSA, it becomes ASK. What is ASK? Ask. So we keep on asking our students that try to do introspection on day basis, keep on reading the biographies of the top managers of the world, and on the basis of that, you will be in a position to inculcate all those types of qualities and habits what have been there in these top bureaucrats as well as the top managers in the world. And this is how exactly we will be in a position to create good pool of the MBAs which can help this country, this corporate world of this particular country to basically become more and more competitive whenever they are in business. With these few words, I now hand over the dais to
Thank
the
you.
organizers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed great listening to you. And you have actually tell us what is KSA and the skill set which is required in today's scenario. Because nowadays students are having this question that doing MBA is useful or not. Are the students who are not doing MBA are having an edge, or after doing an MBA, they should give an edge. What is the future of the education? So you have enlightened all the questions which the students are looking for. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your precious time. Further, I request Professor Rajat Gera to tell us that how we are using these terms at KR Manglam University. What about the tie-ups which we have? How we are using real-life situations, solving real-life problems? What are the mentor-mentee sessions which we are having at KR Manglam University? We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Anshika, and I'm really grateful to Dr. Mittal for sparing time for us and sharing his vision of the future of MBA. And I would just like to share what we are doing here at KR Manglam and how we are reinventing the MBA. So taking off from where Dr. Mittal said, introduced the concept that technology is becoming more and more important. So from the knowledge part, also from the application, implementation, analysis, we have tied up with IBM, Symmetrics for data analytics, with the NSC for and Tally and many such. We are even tying up for business simulation, and all these courses we have integrated into our MBA. And if you see that, I will share a PPT with you also and tell you how many courses we are offering through, on a platforms of IBM Cloud and all those things. But the most important part, what we are trying to do is try to make analytics and AI and machine learning a part of every course, whether we are teaching marketing or whether we are teaching finance courses, basic, or we are teaching any of the advanced courses, investment management. We are trying to incorporate, these skills, these technologies in our curriculum. So from the knowledge part, we are trying to make our curriculum more Industry 4, Industry 5 driven. Today it is machine learning, tomorrow it will be Internet of Things. So we are looking at these advanced technologies and how we can, prepare our students to use these technologies. So that is one of our main focus areas in our curriculum. And I'll share the curriculum also through a PPT. I'm just like to first introduce what we are doing. Taking off from where Dr. Mittal said that soft skills and communication and all are very important. So in our context, what we are doing is we are encouraging students to, not only develop skills in, the written and writing skills or reading skills, but also technology, communication on the net. How do you, network on the net, Web 2.0 tools. So we are making every effort that, like, we have made it very mandatory that students have to do MOOC courses. They have to do, use online resources in their assignments. They have to use multimedia in their, presentations. So we are inculcating these tools and techniques, which Web 2.0 today, tomorrow it may be Web 3.0, Web 4.0. So we are making this conscious effort that our students use these tools and these skills, which are part of, which are becoming part of the, bigger context of communication, that is such as social media marketing and all these skills. So we are not looking at it as a separate course. We are not saying that, okay, you have to just learn digital marketing. When we teach any course, we encourage students to, okay, today I have taught you, let us say, event management. Now you tell me how you will do it, use, the social media and event marketing management, how you will use, search engine optimization, how you will design your website for event marketing. We are even encouraging our students to develop their website, create blogs, and create forums for, using Web 2.0 tools for their learning. So our focus is not only on, developing these skills, but we are trying to make it a culture of the university, that these techniques and tools and skills should be part of their everyday, learning, everyday experience. So this is how we are trying to make technology part of our, curriculum, our learning culture. And regarding flipped classes and all, I very much agree with sir that, the role of a professor is not to teach, it is to facilitate, it is to create the environment, it is to, create the context in which learning can take place. So we are encouraging our faculty to, to give space to the student for, encourage collaborative learning, cooperative learning, encourage students to think. Critical thinking skills are very important nowadays. So we challenge students, we give them, like sir said, creating real life situations. We challenge students to think out of the box. So we want our teachers not to give any answers. We want our students to find the answers. So this will also create the culture of lifelong learning. We want our students to learn themselves. We don't want them to ask us, sir, what to do, what not to do. When our students come to us with a problem, we say, you solve it. You tell us what to do. Whenever they ask a question in class, we tell them, okay, you tell us what is the answer, how to solve this problem. So this culture of answering questions, we are trying to reverse it. We want our students to answer the questions, find solutions. And let me tell you, our experience is that students are very innovative, very creative. Sometimes they can come out with, really, unexpected, kind of situations. For example, in teaching, this course of how to develop new products, I asked a student, what do you want in your mobile phone? He said, a battery which never ends, which has endless life. Everybody laughed in the class, but I told them, no, this could be the future. We could use nuclear powered batteries, we could use solar powered batteries, a battery which is endless, which doesn't have to be charged. So we are encouraging our students to think out of the box. So this is regarding the curriculum part. Now coming to the other part, that is which sir said, like entrepreneurial skills, you won't believe that our faculty has already filed 5-6 patents in 2 months, and we are encouraging students to file patents. There are many such models where the university could also file it, or we could do individual filing. So our students have also started winning prizes in competitions of idea competitions and all. So we are encouraging our students to be innovative, to come out with new ideas. And we are also giving them a platform to become entrepreneurs. Our chairman has created an incubation cell and all. And he is always asking me, how many entrepreneurs have you created in the last 1 month? So, we are always asking ourselves, challenging ourselves, because what we find is many of our students, like sir said, sooner or later become entrepreneurs because they have that creativity, they have the energy. And it's not such a big thing. You don't have to start with $1 million or $10 million. You can become an entrepreneur with 5,000 rupees. It's not a matter of how big your business is. It is whether you have the skills. So you cannot become an entrepreneur just by reading books or attending classes. So we encourage our students, and let me tell you, many of our students have started working on their ideas. They are sharing their ideas, and we are going to encourage them, give them a platform, maybe even financial support as equity investment. So that is the vision which we have, that our student, whether they join company or they don't join a company, but they have to have the entrepreneurial skills. And we want each one of our students to have this kind of abilities and competencies. So that is one aspect which we are focusing on in our curriculum. So I have covered the technology part, I have covered the communications part, I have covered the entrepreneurial part. Now coming to what sir said about attitude. You see, our students have this attitude of always, coming and asking, looking for direction, looking for what to do, what not to do. Now, how do we make our students into, leaders? How do we create leadership skills? So we always ask, we ask our students to take initiative. All our activities are being driven by students. We want all our, whatever we do in this university, it should be led by student managers. So we want our students to be leaders in practice, not only, theoretically. And let them make mistakes. We are open to that. So whenever anybody says, sir, we want to do something, I encourage them, look, you go ahead. You tell me what to do, how to do. You organize everything. You collect, generate resources. You do whatever is to be done. That way we are creating this attitude of, like sir said, how, instead of saying, it's not KSA, but ask, tell me what challenge, the more challenges you give students, the more opportunities you give them to solve problems. I have seen that transformation starts taking place in students, and they become more confident. They start coming with more and more ideas. You see, it's a young generation. It's a mind which is creative. Only thing they want is the context and the direction. And if we create that context, automatically we can leverage them as a resource. So we treat our students as resources. So these are some of the key factors which entrepreneurship side, communication, technology, skill building, leadership abilities, and like flipped classes and all. What we are encouraging our students is to take, like in my class, I always ask students to come and, whatever topic, they should first come and present. And they should give real life examples, or even they should tell us how to do. You can create hypothetical problems and ask students to go and try to, tell us how to use these concepts. So it is not knowing the concept, but how to apply the concept. The focus is not on knowing, but, it's not know how or know what. It is know why and know who. So our focus is shifting from know what and know how to know who and know why. I mean, why are we doing this? Why we cannot do it differently? Or another thing is, whom should I network with? Because like we say, your net worth is equal to your network. So we are encouraging students to do network on LinkedIn, to network with their alumni, network with their experts in the field. I'm telling my students that tell me, in your field, do you have 10 people who are following you? And if you don't have, that means you are not a leader. You are not. You don't have networking skill. So I have just given some examples of and obviously socially we are trying to create socially responsible citizens. We are trying to give them international exposure. So we encourage them to go to international conferences, present papers, develop research skills. Many of our faculty are collaborating with our students in publishing papers. And so as sir, I think most of the things which sir said, and I agree with him, is the future of MBA. It is the way MBA has to evolve. Even in Harvard, they are now creating multimedia cases. So their focus has shifted from text to multimedia. So unless we adopt the new technologies, we create students who can work in this new context, where it is not an MBA for organized sector. Our MBA should be able to work in any context. So that kind of approach we are trying to adopt. I will just share the curriculum and certain things which we are doing. I'll just take 5-10 minutes to share it. And this is about our School of Management. This is what we are aiming to create. As you see, we are trying for excellence in both the professional and personal sphere. And we want our students to be leaders. So unless we make them leaders in the institution level, we cannot expect them to become leaders in the industry level. And as you've seen, there is research, training, consultancy, field work. Our students are asked to go do social work, to interact with the community, to contribute to community. So these are some of the value systems which we are trying to inculcate. So these are the programs. As you can see, our most popular program in the BBA level is also Business Intelligence and Analytics. And in MBA also, majority of our students are doing IBM, the program which is in collaboration with IBM. If you see in a study of World Economic Forum, you will see almost all industries are going to be disrupted due to automation. And you see the future is, if you see in architecture, computer, management, business and financial operations, sales. So out of the future 5 areas identified by World Economic Forum, 3 are basically driven by MBAs. And the rest 2 also need MBA skills. Today a computer engineer cannot be a computer engineer if he doesn't know how to use the skill to solve human problems, to solve business problems. So these are some of our curricular aspects. As you see, we have core courses, skill enhancement, open electives, these are all trying to cover the various dimensions which we mentioned earlier by Dr. Mittal and also mentioned by us. And if you see, these are we are even giving them some foreign language course as a core course. Reason being that knowing one foreign language course has become very important in today's globalized context. And these are some of the options we already discussed. We are encouraging to go for certifications. We are offering industry-based programs. We have industry mentors, industry lectures by industry. So our connect with the industry, which sir mentioned, in an MBA has to be closely linked with the industry. So we are, instead of doing it like 2 individual partners, we are trying to make the context itself like that. It should be industry driven. So all our programs are industry driven, and obviously we have all these skills training and joint certifications, with the partners and all those things. And these are some of, you can see, if you see the subjects taught by the industry, in artificial intelligence, computational data analysis, ML for business, risk, so you will see that almost 50% of our courses are basically on the industry platforms and the industry driven. And if you see the MBA with IBM, you can see we have offered financial management using Excel and visualization. This is based on the IBM cloud model. So you will find that we are already in the process of reinventing ourselves. And these are some of the things you will see which sir mentioned also. Teamwork, like, today it's a highly connected work. So we never encourage individual assignments. We encourage students to work in groups, work in teams. We ask them to submit individually, but work as a team. And obviously, we are bringing project-based learning in a big way into our curriculum, in the sense that even during summer internships and other such things, we are encouraging that the students should, the problem, they should solve real life industry problems. So these are some of the things which we are doing already. And like Dr. Mittal said, there's a lot more. There's a big future for MBA. Why? Because MBA is an interdisciplinary science. It's a multidisciplinary science. You can do engineering, management, commerce, anything, but unless you know how to integrate these different disciplines, you cannot become a management professional. So you can see our students here, they are, with Chanakya, doing a simulation, session with Chanakya, which is offered by IMA, and some of the international collaborations where our students go for internships, there are publications-wise research students. So the directions are absolutely the way Dr. Mittal has already identified, and we are trying to, go in that direction, but we are looking beyond. Like after 10 years, 20 years, what an MBA could be, and what type of skills our students may need to develop. So these are some of the events which our students lead, organize, take responsibility, manage. All these are some of the glimpses of what MBA at Kumar KR Manglam. So with that, I thank you all for the opportunity. It was a great opportunity. I really am thankful, and I hand over to Dr. Anshika.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving the insight what we at KR Manglam University is doing. I just want to know something more about that what we do in for mentor mentees and how we are helping our students well-being personally and in academics also.
Personal work-life balance is very important. So we are organize sessions of yoga, stress management, and we are also putting it as a part of our curriculum, where, as an open elective, value-added courses and all, where these are many institutions, they offer it as optional or an extracurricular. But we are considering it as a core curriculum for us. Because like recently I read that, the Google Pichai, Sundar Pichai, what he does is, he does, while staying awake, he is able to sleep. I mean, he is able to get the benefits of sleep by staying awake. These kind of techniques are there in stress management. So we are also giving these techniques, trying to develop our students in these techniques so that they become future ready and able to manage stress.
Thank you so much, sir. And so what about the real life problems which our students are dealing with, like any innovative thing which our students have done, or they are doing some industry or community connects?
Yeah, if you see, our industry partners are also sharing data with us of, industry data, and we are asking them to get our students to do projects on them. Beyond that, as a part of our regular curriculum, we are asking students to, go, we give them, like I gave my students a problem that if, tomorrow, if let us say, the problem I gave them is that tell me how a loss-making company can become profitable. So select any loss-making company, go through their financials, go through their business model. So live project is not necessarily you have to go to a company. Obviously, many of our students also direct projects from companies. But live project can also be a live problem, which they can be asked to solve. So that way we are creating this culture of not doing a case which is just 30, 40 years old, but something which is contemporary, which is current. And another point you mentioned is students go to, we have adopted villages, students do community outreach programs. They are doing, we are creating that global citizenship culture and values in them. So these are many of the dimensions which we are trying to cover. And you can see that if you go through our website and if you go through our, Facebook and all, you will find many of these activities are being, we are publishing these activities on a regular basis.
Thank you, sir. And as Sanjay Mittal sir mentioned about the communication, are we focusing on the communication labs and giving some extra classes to the students for interpersonal skills and communication basically?
Yes. Like I told you, communication skill is not just a core curriculum or a course. Communication is also about how to influence people through communication. So it can be also through internet, through Web 2.0. So whenever we teach any course, it's not like students not only present in the class, but they also have to elicit response from others. They have to go to the net. They have to, we encourage them to go and publish their ideas on blogs. They should go and write wikis. So we are encouraging students to use Web 2.0 tools also.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to share with you the university presentation.
Hello.
Somehow I'm missing.
Yeah, hello. Rajat ji.
Yes, sir.
Things have to be done.
Is the screen visible?
Yeah, my screen is visible, and I think you can move to the next slides.
Make it a full screen one,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's showing all the slides. Better make it full screen.
F5.
Ajit ma'am, it is still showing the slides. Make it full screen.
So actually F5 is not happening actually. In share screen, F5 is not possible.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I will take you to a small tour of KR Manglam University, where our campus is on 26-acre campus. We have 3,000 plus students. We have 12 different schools and 150 plus faculty. And when we talk about the 26-acre campus, I'll tell you that we are starting a process of building an ashram in that, which is like we are having a raw material which is easily available, and it will be connect us to the local and the real life problem solving situations where students will be sitting, reading, learning, and having a feel where they are, connected to their roots and solve the problem which is actually in today's scenario. But if I move to the next slide. We are having ample of courses in BTech. We are having BTech in CSC with AI and ML. As Rajat sir already mentioned, that we as a university is focusing on the technological driven things. So our highly focus is on AI, ML, and these all are the need of the demand. Data is something which our students are learning with the industry partners and from our faculty. We are working, giving hands-on experience on tools, technologies, and labs. So majority of the classes are working on the labs part in MBA, in BTech, or be any course. And we have applied science courses, we have medical aligned science courses with us, we have hotel management, we have agriculture science, we have PhD with us, we have courses in journalism, we have courses in legal studies. Now, if I talk about the collaboration, we have a collaboration with MBA for BTech and MBA in IBM. With BBA, we have a tie-up with Symmetrics. With BTech Mechanical, we have a tie-up with Siemens. We provide the free linked learning experience to all our students. It is a mandate that our students should have 3 to 4 LinkedIn Learning course certificate in a particular semester. So this is enriching them. Apart from what we are teaching, they are getting the extra certificates also, which is helping them in their future. We have tie-up with NSC for BCom. We have E-Yantra Robotic Lab. We have E-Yantra Robotic Lab. This was helping our students to build that analytical and robotical skills. For that, we have a tie-up with IIT Mumbai. Experts from IIT Mumbai comes and share their ideas. Our students present the ideas, and we have a state university contest every year through E-Yantra Robotic Labs. Now, these are certain professors which we are guided by. We have Professor Kishan Lal sir. He is a CV Raman Chair Professor at KR Manglam University. We have a panel of esteemed professors from different other eminent places who are visiting us or taking classes online and offline for giving the insight about the current market to them. So when I shared about the ashram in the first slide, this is how it has started. Now students have already started working on it. The architecture team is designing the architect for it. The management team is taking care of that, how they are going to manage the resources in that ashram. The legal team is taking care of legal things when they have to pass out certain procedures or go through a legal forms. So this is how these kind of projects we give our students to develop in-house also. And these projects actually help our students to build themselves in a overall in a holistic manner, because they work together, they work in team, they work in an interdisciplinary approach, and they get a lot of confidence. And when these kind of projects come out as a success, it is like the students learning and they feel very proud after doing these kind of work. Life beyond academics, we have a lot of industry connect, we have community connects, we have adapted few of the villages where students are visiting twice a month. They are giving them financial assistance, legal aid assistance, and different kind of assistance as per the requirements. So what we follow, it's not that what we want they should learn. What we ask the panchayat and the senior person there in the village, they tell us what is your problem. They give us the problem, we go with the solution to them. So that is why the connection with the community is really high, because we are not only providing them the the learnings, but we are providing them the solution which they are looking for. We have a mentor-mentee program. In this mentor-mentee program, our students are connected with the faculties, and every class has been driven by two mentors, where the mentor and mentee meet regularly. They sit together, they discuss their problems in terms of a real life situation. They discuss any query they have in the school or in the university so that it can be resolved. Clubs and societies. We have around 20 plus clubs in our organization. We have investment club, we have health society, we have N numbers, we have photography club. All these are helping our students for the overall development. And when the student comes, we have sports club, we have NSS, we have cultural clubs. So this will give the student the flair, and how they want to develop in a co-curricular activities is the part of those clubs and societies. Moving to the next slide, we have international exposures. We have tie-up with Middlesex University, London, University of Bristol. We have tie-ups with M members of universities, in which we have a provision if the student want to study 1 year at KR Manglam. Second year student wants to go and abroad and take certain knowledge or gain certain credits there, the student is welcome. We allow students to do summer internship there at Middlesex University. So these are our international tie-ups, help our students to learn about the cross-cultural functionings also. Now, if I talk about the placements, this is what is we focused upon. It is not that at KR Manglam University, we will think for your placement in the last year. We start to think for the placement of yours the day you enter the KR Manglam University. You will be asked to do a psychoanalytics test. Based on that, we will give you an option to choose your course. So when you have taken a test, that test will tell you that what is your aptitude and attitude is all about. And based on that, you will be advised to take admission in that particular course, which is very scientific. And when you take the course which is based upon your attitude and aptitude, definitely you will excel in that course. So you will be getting different types of tie-ups, you will be working and getting certificates, you will be participating in inter-house competitions also, where also you will be getting a lot of certificates. You will be taking personality development classes organized by our university. So the overall development of a students help the student to get placement, and it becomes a cakewalk for any students who is a part of KR Manglam University to get the placements. And we not only give the job providers, but we make job providers also. We have an incubation center in which we are nurturing entrepreneurships. We are nurturing the future budding entrepreneurs. We welcome a lot of ideas from our students. They give us the idea, we sit them, we connect them with the mentors, individual mentor based on the industry. They have shown us the idea, and they can start with the startup. These are the few recruiters like we have Paytm. We have a very good package of 15-16 lakhs with our students of MBA. We have Outlook, we have Deloitte, we have Genpact, we have Yes Bank. So name the few, we have just put some of the logos here. This is how the admission process works. You will meet the admission officer. You will fill the admission form. You will get registered with us. Then you will appear for the admission test. You will pay the fees and you will appear for the personal round of interview. And once you are clear with the personal round of interview, you will pay the fees and you can be the part of KR Manglam University. No, this is the average fee structure. Students, when we talk to students or when I talk somewhere to people outside the university, they think that we might be very expensive, but no, this is not the case. We have our fees ranging from 1.10 to 1.40. So this is the fees, which is actually the demanded, whatever course and content which we are providing to our students, we are making them industry ready. And it is not a very high kind of fees, but yes, the studies, the quality, the content which we deliver is definitely is of excellence. Scholarships. So we provide a lot of scholarships based on the merits the student is getting. Then there's a fast track admissions for those who have again 90% plus marks, 15% scholarships for the siblings, 15% scholarship for the sport quota, 15% scholarship for the children for defense personals, and we have special financial aid for the students from KR Manglam School. So from we have a KR Manglam School, so students applying from KR Manglam schools are definitely our own students, so we'll get a lot of benefits out of it. So thank you everyone. You can connect with us on 011 488 488 and you can visit to our website at krmanglam.edu.in. With that, I thanks everyone for listening to us. Special thanks to Sanjay Mittal sir and Rajat sir for giving their precious time, to Ashok Arora sir, for Avjeet ma'am for managing all the IT things at the back. So thank you everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajat ji. Thank you very much. Thanks the other dignitaries which are there on the dais.
Thank you, Arora sir. Thank you, Dr.
It was a pleasure to have you. We look forward to meet you in person. We would like to invite you to our campus and to learn something new about you.
Yeah, definitely. Rashmi is my PhD student.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and same is with Professor Rajat also.
Oh, wow.
So I have given you 2 gems. Huh?
Yeah.
So two gems guided by me are there for you.
Yes, sir.
So take the maximum advantage from them.